The BBC has tracked down and confronted a people smuggler who organised a channel crossing in which a 7-year-old girl died. About 3 months ago, our correspondent Andrew Harding witnessed the death of Sara, who was among those trying to make their way to Britain in an overcrowded small boat. 4 other people also died in a crush on the boat. Well, Andrew explained how they knew they'd found the man behind the fatal smuggling attempt.
The aftermath of that terrible incident in which 5 people in late April died, some of them trampled to death on a small boat just off the coast in northern France, we decided not only to find and challenge the family and their responsibility for putting these children in that boat, but also we wanted to track down the smuggler. We launched a long investigation that took us from France to Belgium, to Berlin, to Britain, and finally we managed to track down the man, the smuggler, responsible for putting Sarah's family on that small boat, and we confronted him here on the streets of Luxembourg. Excuse me, sir. Andrew Harding from BBC News. We believe we know who you are. You're a smuggler.
No, sorry.
You're denying that?
No, me no.
We understand you are still in business?
No, no.
That you are still smuggling people across the channel? We know 100% that you are a smuggler. That you are responsible for the death of this 7-year-old. That you put her on a boat, that you took money from her parents, that she and 4 other people died. That's you. We know this is our man. He's confirmed the phone is his. He's confirmed his own picture that we've got of him. He's getting on a tram now. We're going to let him go. There's not much more we can do. But this is the smuggler. Now, we were confident that we had our man because we'd had one of our team members posing as a migrant, and we'd actually arranged a trip with that gentleman, that smuggler, and he promised on the same phone that he was then using, as you saw on the screen there. He answered it when we called him. We informed subsequently the French police. They're still in the middle of their investigation, and they said they couldn't comment. As for Sarah's family, they are still waiting for clarity. The 2 children of Sara, 2 siblings, a young boy and a young girl, still don't have access to school. They were both born and raised in Europe, in Belgium and Sweden, but they have no passport and really no sense of what happens next for them.
Let's speak now to Peter Walsh, Senior Researcher at Oxford University's Centre on Migration, Policy and Society. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Can you give us an indication of the scale of the problem with these kind of crossings?
Certainly. I mean, these crossings actually go back 50 years, but it was only in 2018 where significant numbers were detected. 300 in November and December of 2018, leading the then Home Secretary to declare a major incident. Those numbers look pretty small from the present period. Last year, 30,000 people made the crossing. So far this year, 13,000. That's a record number. It's actually more than in 2022, when 46,000 people crossed in the year. Although it's too early to say, I would suggest, about whether we will have a record year overall, because most people tend to travel in the summer and those months now ahead of us. So we'll have to wait and see.
And what's driving this? I mean, we saw there Andrew Harding talking to one of the smugglers. What is the kind of the driving factor here? Is it that these smugglers are getting more efficient at recruiting people, or is it that there are more people who want to cross? What do you see it as?
A combination of both. I mean, when you look at where people come from who are crossing in small boats, they come from some of the most chaotic parts of the world. The most common place now, Afghanistan, after the fall of Kabul a few years ago, also from Iran, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, places that suffer under political repression and have civil or ethnic conflict of various kinds. So you have that fundamental driver that keeps people on the move. And most people, once they reach the UK, they do claim asylum, and those that have their asylum claims processed, high majorities, upwards of 80%, are successful. The other question, of course, is why the UK? Why not just stay in France and claim asylum there? And when we speak with people, they really give us 3 reasons. The first is that they have family member or members of the community in the UK. That's a strong driver. The English language as well, and perceptions that the UK is a safe, welcoming and democratic country, more so given the experience that they often have, quite negative experience, in France at the hands of their immigration officials.
And from what you've studied, what are the methods that actually make a difference in trying to crack down on this, or certainly in trying to crack down on the smuggling operations?
Yeah, so the UK's approach really there's two parts to it. One is enforcement, and that does have some effect. People are prevented from crossing, but it's very difficult to describe that as successful overall, while tens of thousands continue to slip through the net. The enforcement side of things is really challenging because there are 300 kilometres of viable coastline that the boats can leave from. The smuggling groups are quite small. You squash one, more people come up and fill those roles. And then also, as this reporting has seen, this investigation, smugglers are often very mobile and often operating beyond the jurisdiction of the UK.
Peter Walsh, thank you very much indeed for your expertise on the subject. Thank you.